A very good evening and a warm welcome to everyone to SVP India's Fast Pitch 2026. I'm so excited to be here to introduce this year's wonderful finalists doing some deeply challenging work across India. Some children learn to survive before they ever learn to play. Young children pick waste alongside their mothers before they're old enough to know what school even means. Many, therefore, simply remain trapped in this intergenerational cycle of poverty and exploitation. Jalgaon based non-profit Vardishnu is working to change this through their Anand Ghars, literally translated as homes of happiness, which are safe, community based learning spaces for the most marginalized children. To hear more about what makes Anand Ghars unique, let's welcome our first speaker, Advait Danvante.
Think of a 6-year-old spending her childhood in a dumping ground. Every day, she scavenges through broken glasses and hazardous waste. वहाँ इतना धुआं है कि हम सांस भी नहीं ले सकते. Cuts and bruises are routine. She returns home for a leftover meal and grows up surrounded by addiction, violence, and abuse. Her future is already decided. Marriage at 14, motherhood before 18. I met one such girl in 2013 in Jalgaon, my hometown, and she was not alone. She was among nearly 425 children with whom I interacted as a part of a study. She was also among one of the nearly 10 million children trapped in the vicious cycle of child labor across India. Safe and happy childhood is the birthright of every child. Yet for millions, it is a long-lost dream. Interaction with that 6-year-old changed the course of my life. My name is Advait, and through my not-for-profit Vardishnu, we are on a quest to create an ecosystem of safe spaces where children from vulnerable backgrounds could experience joyful learning and build brighter futures. As I started interacting more with the children, I realized that they do not simply need another program. They needed a home. So we started with a small step. A community learning center in one of Jalgaon's slum. Children called it Anand Ghar. Anand Ghar, a space where an educator will not move for 15 minutes because a child has fallen asleep in her lap. Rooted in love, compassion, respect, and belongingness, Anand Ghar empowers children to transition from child labor to the classrooms with the support of their families and communities. बच्चे कहते हैं ये जगह हमें खुशी देती है और ये हमारे सपनों का घर है. When all this comes together, it creates magic. This is Pratiksha, the same 6-year-old whom I met in 2013. She became the first child to get enrolled in schools through Anand Ghar. Today, she has completed her board exams and now aspires to be an IAS officer. The hand which used to collect waste are now collecting certificates. And again, she is not alone. Through 4 Anand Ghar, we have enrolled 750 children into the schools with a sustenance rate of 94%. 150 of our children have already passed board exams and are now building lives of their own. ये सिर्फ आंकड़े नहीं है, ये कहानियां हैं विश्वास की, दृढ़ता की, ऐसे बच्चे और परिवारों की जिन्होंने अंधेरे से रोशनी तक का सफर तय किया. As Anand Ghar grew, a new question emerged. What next? We had 2 options: deepen our impact in Jalgaon or scale to other geographies. We chose both. This is Sheshraj, born in the Fasepardi community, a denotified tribe labeled as criminals. Sheshraj became the first graduate of his hamlet, breaking a cycle for generations. But he aspired to change the life of all the children from his community. He had the passion, we provided the support. We supported him to create a safe space where children could learn, dream, and thrive. And that sparked a powerful realization. What if every marginalized community in India had someone like Sheshraj? And thus, Bonds Community Collective, a year-long incubation program to identify and support grassroots leaders to create safe spaces for the children from their geographical context. Our leaders represent Musahar, the rat eaters, Nath, the snake charmers, Potraj, deity worshippers who hurt themselves to earn livelihood. ये ऐसे चेहरे हैं जो हमने कभी देखे नहीं है। ये ऐसी आवाजें हैं जो हम तक कभी पहुंचे नहीं है। Today, we have scaled our impact by training 49 grassroots education organizations, creating a multiplier effect of 83 Anandgarh inspired safe spaces, impacting over 20,000 children. This journey was possible because of the people who believed in us, who stood beside us. But this is not enough. There are still millions of children who are still waiting. Over the next 1 year, we aim to deepen our impact in Jalgaon by initiating 3 new Anandgarh. At the same time, go wider by supporting 10 grassroots organizations through community collectives. To make this possible, we need you. In 11 lakh, you can support establish one Anandgarh. 7 lakh will enable us to support and provide training to one grassroots organization. Ultimately, it just costs 7,000 rupees per child per year to create a pathway from vulnerability to opportunity. I do what I do so that every child will have a safe and a happy childhood, a fair chance to take control of their life, to live a life with dignity which they deserve, just like us. I am on a quest and I'm inviting you to be our co-traveler. Thank you.
Thank you, Advait, for the wonderful work you and your team are doing. It's so inspiring to see the positive impact you will create for children in rural India. May you create thousands of more Anandghars in the years to come. Talent is scattered fairly evenly across India, but opportunity is definitely not. For a first generation student from drought hit Marathwada in Maharashtra, higher education isn't a path, it's uncharted territory. Our next non-profit Samavesh builds the map, the compass, and the boat for such students to sail off into a brighter future. From mere aspirations into college, this NGO enables access for rural and tribal youth to higher education and government scholarships. They build confidence through career readiness trainings and provide essential industry readiness skills. Let's hear their inspiring journey from their founder, Praveen Nikam.
Hello, my name is Praveen Nikam and I'm founder of Samavesh Action for Impact Foundation. India is a home to the world's largest youth population. But what if the world's largest youth population never got an opportunity to realize its full potential? While working in the states of Maharashtra and Jharkhand, we saw these 4 barriers that prevented young people to successfully transition from education to employability. Lack of legal documentation, due to which many students were unable to access their scholarships. First-generation learners were unable to navigate careers due to limited career guidance. Students coming from historically marginalized communities had unequal access to higher education. And our students who are graduating lacked skills due to which they were unable to transition into employability. This is what we call education to employability gap. I personally relate to this struggle. My parents migrated from rural Maharashtra to an industrial town near Pune. I grew up in a workers' colony where I saw what it means not to have a legal document, a scholarship and mentoring, and how it impacts a young person's future. It became personal when I met this young girl who was forced to leave school, not because she lacked potential, but she lacked opportunity. I also faced similar challenges in my journey, but I'm grateful to the mentors. For a young person like me coming from rural Maharashtra, growing up in a workers' colony, I was able to complete my law studies. I got a fully funded scholarship to do my master's at London School of Economics. And that's when I realized the power of democratization of opportunity. And so we founded Samavesh, a platform to democratize access to opportunity and education. Meet Samadhan, a first-generation learner coming from a Tier 3 city. Samadhan wanted to pursue higher education, but had limited career opportunities in place. Meet Tanuja, a young person coming from a city in Pune. She wanted to pursue her career in development economics. She never got an opportunity. She had no mentors who could guide her. We work with young people like Tanuja and Samadhan, who come from underserved communities, first-generation learners, young people who are at risk of dropping out of education. At Samavesh, we work from graduation from poverty approach, where the focus is on creating access, enabling learning and opportunity, and then empowering through mobility. When I talk about access, I mean legally documenting undocumented students and then supporting them through untapped scholarships. I'm happy to share we have been supporting the most vulnerable students in collaboration with our government partners. The focus then shifts on academic handholding of our students. Let's not forget our students come from under-resourced schools and colleges. From reading, listening, writing, and helping them chalk out their career pathways, we work with them so that they can prepare for entrance exam after their graduation. And then we work with them to learn necessary skills so that they can confidently transition from education into employability. This is what opportunity looks like. Today, our students study in India's and world's premier universities on a fully funded scholarship. Many of them have graduated and they have transitioned into meaningful careers. They have become local role models in their communities. The work that we were able to do in Maharashtra and Jharkhand, we were able to support more than 1,000 students to access mentoring. 5,000 students were supported to access scholarship worth 13 crores, which covered their tuition and accommodation cost. 800 students were supported to get their legal documentation in place. I'm very grateful to the national and state institutional partners for recognizing our work. I also want to acknowledge the support we have received from government department, CSR partners, incubators, and individual contributors who have enabled us to work at the grassroots. I am aware we can't do this alone. I request you all for your support. We aspire to support 400 students from historically marginalized communities to go through our undergraduate mentoring program so that they can transition into universities in India. We aspire to support 300 students through the industry readiness program so that they can confidently enter employability. And while doing this to community intervention, we also want to strengthen our systems and our team. For this, we need your support and guidance. Samadhan was able to clear his entrance, get into Gokhale Institute of Politics and Economics on a fully funded scholarship. He also ended up going to the Ashoka University as a Young India Fellow on a scholarship, and today he's a successful working professional. Tanuja was able to do her career as a development sector professional. She works as a non-profit leader enabling young people. I invite you all to join Samavesh Action for Impact Foundation to democratize access to opportunity and education.
Thank you, Praveen, for your incredible work in transforming the lives of these young people. We sincerely hope, with the understanding and support of our viewers, you will be able to partner with many more colleges and give the much needed career guidance and mentorship to our youth. Every year, thousands of youth move out of India's childcare homes, and then the public system support door simply closes behind them. No family, no roadmap, nowhere to go. Despite aftercare schemes existing under India's Juvenile Justice Act, implementing structured support remains fragmented and inconsistent across most states. Anisha knows this edge personally. Many around her grew up in childcare institutions or orphanages, as we know them. And so she and many youth like her came together to build a bridge, a tech-enabled platform creating India's youth-led aftercare network. It is my immense pleasure to introduce the co-founder of Click. Please join me in welcoming Anisha Sharma.
चलिए शुरू करते हैं एक सवाल के साथ। आपका 18 बर्थडे कैसा था? शायद आपको बहुत सारे गिफ्ट्स मिले होंगे या आपने अपनी फैमिली या फिर फ्रेंड्स के साथ सेलिब्रेट किया होगा। आज मैं आपको एक ऐसी लड़की से मिलवाना चाहती हूँ जिसका 18 बर्थडे बिल्कुल अलग था। उसने उस दिन अपना घर यानी चाइल्ड केयर इंस्टीट्यूशन यानी ऑर्फनेज छोड़ना पड़ा था। क्या आपको पता है हर बच्चा जो ऑर्फनेज में आता है उसे 18 के होने के बाद अपना ऑर्फनेज छोड़ना पड़ता है और उसे केयर लीवर कहते हैं। आपको कैसा महसूस होगा लिविंग योर होम एट 18 विद नो सपोर्ट, नो आइडेंटिटी, नो फ्यूचर? चलिए वापस आते हैं उस लड़की की कहानी पे। वो लड़की मैं थी। मेरा नाम अनीशा है। मैं CEO एंड को फाउंडर क्लिक यानी केयर लीवर इनर सर्कल फोरम। जब मैं 2017 में दिल्ली के ऑर्फनेज से निकली थी, तो ना मेरे पास रहने के लिए घर था, ना पढ़ाई थी, ना कोई फाइनेंशियल सपोर्ट था। मैं अपने ही स्ट्रगल्स में उलझी हुई थी। फिर मेरी मुलाकात गिरीश से हुई। गिरीश भी राजस्थान के ऑर्फनेज से निकले थे विथ सेम चैलेंजेस। तो हम दोनों ने देखा कि हर साल 50,000 बच्चे ऑर्फनेज से निकलते हैं अपने 18th बर्थडे पर इमिडिएटली। तो हमने सोचा कि क्यों ना हम एक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म बनाए हम बच्चों के लिए। विद दिस थॉट क्लिक वॉज बॉर्न, केयर लीवर इनर सर्कल फोरम। क्लिक एक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म है जो फॉर द केयर लीवर्स बाय द केयर लीवर्स बनाया गया है। आवर मिशन इज टू मेक केयर लीवर्स सेल्फ रिलायंट। हमारे केयर से करियर तक के प्रोग्राम में 2 प्रोग्राम्स हैं। पहला है लॉन्च पैड प्रोग्राम, जो 15 से 18 साल के बच्चों के लिए हैं जो ऑर्फनेज में रहते हैं। हम उन्हें लाइफ स्किल, मेंटल हेल्थ, करियर सेशंस प्रोवाइड करते हैं। साथ ही हम गवर्नमेंट की जो आफ्टर केयर स्कीम है उसमें अवेयरनेस एंड एनरोलमेंट सपोर्ट देते हैं। सेकंड है हमारा एक्सीलरेशन प्रोग्राम, जहां पे हम 18 से ऊपर वाले बच्चों के साथ काम करते हैं। उन्हें हम केयर किट प्रोवाइड करते हैं विद ऑल द नेसेसरी आइटम्स फॉर बीइंग इंडिपेंडेंट। आवर मेन फोकस इज ऑन डॉक्यूमेंटेशन, ग्रुप हाउसिंग एंड स्किल एंड ट्रेनिंग। हमारा एक नेशनल हेल्पलाइन नंबर भी है जो 24/7 है। मोस्टली कॉल्स वी हैव रिसीव फॉर हाउसिंग, डॉक्यूमेंटेशन, जॉब एंड इमरजेंसी फंड। Till the date today, we have received 30,000 calls to avoid mental distress. हमें रात के 2 बजे भी कॉल्स रिसीव्ड होते हैं। क्लिक ने अभी तक क्या बिल्ड किया है 5 साल में? राजस्थान से शुरू हुई ये कहानी आज वेस्ट बंगाल, मध्य प्रदेश, उत्तराखंड तक पहुंच चुकी है। हम अभी तक 240 ऑर्फनेजेस तक पहुंच चुके हैं, जहां पे हमने 3,000 केयर लीवर्स को अपने नेटवर्क में जोड़ लिया है और हम उन्हें कुछ इस तरह सपोर्ट कर चुके हैं। यही नहीं, सिस्टम को चेंज करने के लिए हमने इन 2023 हमने द देन मिनिस्टर ऑफ वुमेन एंड चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट श्री स्मृति ईरानी जी से मिले, उनसे सिफारिश की टू सॉल्व द एड्रेस प्रूफ फॉर केयर लीवर्स। उन्होंने एक लेटर इशू किया टू ऑल द 36 स्टेट्स एंड यूटीज कि गवर्नमेंट का एड्रेस ही केयर लीवर्स का एड्रेस प्रूफ रहेगा टिल द एज ऑफ 23। उसके साथ साथ हम चाहते हैं कि गवर्नमेंट की जो आफ्टर केयर स्कीम है वो हर केयर लीवर तक पहुंचे, जिसके लिए हमने 40 लाख रुपीस अनलॉक करवाए हैं गवर्नमेंट से। इस सफर को पूरा करने में हमें सफल हुए क्योंकि थ्रू ऑल दिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस एंड रिकॉग्निशंस। यही नहीं, कुछ मेंटर्स भी हमारे साथ जुड़े इस मिशन में हमें हैंड होल्ड सपोर्ट करने के लिए। सो हमारा जो गोल है इस साल का वो ये है टू सस्टेन एंड स्ट्रेंथन आवर प्रोग्राम अक्रॉस 4 स्टेट्स एंड रीचिंग 30,000 केयर लीवर्स इन द नेक्स्ट 3 years by offering the launchpad and acceleration program. We want to scale up our technology to operate national helpline and the tech platform for data intelligence. So इसके लिए हमें अभी हमारा जो इस साल का जो बजट है वो है 2 करोड़ रुपए, जिसमें वी रिक्वायरिंग 50,000 रुपीज पर चाइल्ड फॉर द लॉन्च पैड प्रोग्राम एंड 75,000 पर केयर लीवर फॉर द एक्सेलरेशन प्रोग्राम। बिकॉज मैं आज भी भूल नहीं पाई हूँ मेरा 18th बर्थडे, क्योंकि जब मैं 18 की हुई थी आई हैव नो केक्स, नो कैंडल्स, ओनली अ बैग पैक्ड एंड अ डोर विच सेइंग दैट योर टाइम इज ओवर हियर। सो आज मैं आप सबसे कमिटमेंट मांगना चाहती हूँ। अर्ज किया है, कोई वेटर, कोई पेंटर, कोई कहीं पे गार्ड बना, मजबूरी का मजदूरी का जीवन ही पाएगा क्या, पहचान बता पाया ना जो पहचान बना पाएगा। तो आज मैं चाहती हूँ कि आप और क्लिक मिलकर उन हजारों बच्चों की पहचान बनाएं इस केयर से करियर तक के सफर में। थैंक यू।
It's truly inspiring to see the extensive impact that Click has made in such a short time. Thank you, Anisha, for your team of youth champions and for the unwavering dedication and sharing your heartfelt story with us today. In India, growing up with an intellectual or developmental disability often means growing up excluded. every parent of a child with an intellectual disability carries one quiet but terrifying question in their heart. What will happen to my child after I'm gone? Srishti Village in Tamil Nadu is an integrated ecosystem where adults with intellectual disabilities don't just receive genuine care, it's where they build meaningful lives, working and belonging. That's when a question like, after I'm gone, stops bringing fear. Let's give a huge round of applause as we hear from Karthikeyan Ganeshan about the incredible work Srishti Foundation is doing in South India.
When I first met Valli, she was pregnant. She didn't know who had abused her. She's a woman with an intellectual disability. She looks like an adult, but mentally she's like a child. Even someone gently touched her hand, she would scream in fear. Her aging mother kept asking me the heartbreaking question, can you save my daughter? Valli reminded me why I started this journey. After schooling, I volunteered in an orphanage. Later, it became my home for 12 years. Almost every day, we received an abandoned child with a disability for food and shelter. Once they became an adult, there was nothing for them to do. This led to aggression and violent behavior, and the only solution was lifelong sedation through medication. This made me to leave the orphanage. I traveled across India to find the solution. Then I realized the problem is not only in the orphanage. There are 20 million people with intellectual disability live in India. Among them, 70% are live in a remote rural village without any support. And I discovered farming could be a meaningful livelihood for them. So I started a small kitchen garden. One day, I gave a tiny seeds to a young man with an intellectual disability. He asked me, Anna, what is this? I said, it's a seed. Plant it, it will grow. He didn't believe me. So we planted together. After a few days, he found 2 leaves emerged from the soil. He jumped with joy. After a few months, he harvested a lot of vegetable and proudly brought to the kitchen. First time in his life, he was not just receiving help, he was contributing. That contribution gave confidence and dignity. That tiny seeds led me to start Christie Foundation. Today, we have proven that this model works. For the past 13 years, we have been working in a remote rural villages, supporting a children and adult with intellectual disability who have no access to any services. At Srishti, we provide therapy, medical care, special education, nutritious food, a safe home, and a joyful environment. But what truly makes our model unique? We are using the farming as a therapy to heal. Through dairy farm, chicken farm, vegetable gardening, young adult with intellectual disability, they build their skills, build their confidence, generate income, and lead an independent and dignified life. Today, they found the true meaning in their life. Income generated through all this farm help us to sustain our community. Over the years, we have supported 1,600 children and adults. We sensitized 50,000 rural people. Every day, 300 children and adults who receive support. And this is possible only because of dedicated team and our funders. When Valli came to Srishti, she was so scared, traumatized. But when she touched the soil, she found the hope. When she planted the seed, she found the future. When she harvested the vegetable, she found the meaning in her life. Today, Valli is one of the happiest people I know. But Valli is not alone. Meet Esmina, an abandoned, abused Bengali girl right now in Tamil Nadu. Nobody knows how she reached here. Like Esmina, there are 10 million women with an intellectual disability in India, 3 times more vulnerable to abuse. Whenever I meet parents, they are always asking the same question. What will happen to my daughter after I'm gone? For years, I had no answer. That is why we are building a Srishti village, a self-sustaining community for women with an intellectual disability. We teach a simple, safe, reputable task like farming that provide food and generate income. Food processing will create a value-added product, and art and craft create a meaningful employment. Together, this livelihood give dignity,
purpose, and income will help us to sustain the community. We are not just building a home, we are building a model that can be replicated across India. To build this community, we have land. The vision is clear. Now we need partners to build it. To build one home for 15 women, we need 35 lakhs. We need 4 such homes. To build one livelihood, we need 10 lakhs. With your contribution of 25,000 will help us to support 5 women with an intellectual disability with nutritious food, medical care, menstrual hygiene support. Any contribution, big or small, everything will help us. My dream is that one day I can tell to every parent, please don't worry. Your daughter has a home, she has a community, she has a future. I invite you all, please join us in building a safe home for Valli and thousands of women like her. Thank you.
Thanks, Karthikeyan, for sharing your journey with us. We hope that you and your team can build wonderful homes for women with developmental disabilities and give them lives of honor and grace. Last year, India retrieved nearly 49,000 corneas from eye donations, 49,000 gifts of sight. However, only a fragment of these even reached the ones in darkness. In India, corneal blindness continues to affect lakhs of people, many of whom could regain their vision if access to timely care and donor corneas was better organized. Swapnil and his team at Disha Education Foundation looked at this gap and refused to accept it as normal. They built a technology-driven system to make sure the gift of eyesight finds its way to thousands of people. The bridge between an eye donor and a stranger's sight is one man's stubborn belief that no light should go unclaimed. Please welcome Swapnil Gawande as he shares his inspiring journey with us.
मैं आपसे पूछना चाहता हूं, क्या आपने मरणोपरांत नेत्रदान का संकल्प किया है? Have you pledged for eye donation after your death? Think about it. A family says yes for eye donation in one of the darkest moments of their lives, with a hope that someone else may find light of their lives. But here is a shocking fact about what happens with this act after. Due to fragmented eye banking, 7 out of 10 donated eyes in India never give eyesight to someone through transplantation. They just simply land up in biomedical waste. Imagine, जो आंखें किसी को दुनिया दिखा सकती थी, वो आज syringe and vial के साथ biomedical waste में पड़ी है. Hi, I am Swapnil Arun Gawande, founder of Disha Education Foundation, and for last 20 years, my team and I have been working on this problem by building strongest network of eye banks in Maharashtra. Let's understand the problem. Cornea is glass-like outermost layer of an eye. If it gets damaged, it leads to corneal blindness. The good news is it can be treated through corneal transplantation, but the process is very challenging and complex. A donated cornea has to be retrieved within 6 to 8 hours after death. It needs to be tested, preserved, matched, and transported. Every single step must be done in right time frame every single time. If one step fails, the sight is lost forever. That's why corneal blindness is not just a medical problem. It's a system problem, supply chain problem. That's why we are building a complete value chain for corneal donation. We are strengthening the entire eye banking ecosystem by building a network of eye bank where eye donation facility is not available. Training manpower and managing the process end to end. We have created a portal which is tracking each and every eye donation from donor to recipient. And now AI is helping us to do a predictive analysis and finding the suitable recipient for the cornea, reducing the rejection rate and increasing the utilization rate up to 90%. We started our work in a small rented place in Amravati in 2011. Gradually, we expanded in different districts of Maharashtra, and 20 years later, we have a strategically placed network of eye bank across the state. We have screened more than 3 lakh people through our mobile eye care unit. and help facilitate over 12,700 corneal donations. 1 out of 5 corneal transplantation happening in Maharashtra comes through our network. And most importantly, when the national cornea utilization rate remains 3 out of 10, that is 30%, our utilization rate is 9 out of 10, which is 90%. We ensure that these assets are never discarded. But there is a long way to go. 17 million people in India live with blindness. Every year, 25 to 30,000 cases are being added. To cater such a larger need, we aspire to build for Disha International Eye Bank what Arvind has built for eye care, an institution which combines quality, scale, and compassion. And for this next leap, we invite your partnership. We need your support for getting a permanent home for Disha International Eye Bank, where we can expand our work, scale up with technology, and most importantly, create a quality impact for coming decades. We need a specular microscope because our current machines are aging, and without corneal assessment, our 9 in 10 utilization rate is at risk. We need a pre-cut machine to provide a precisely cut corneal tissue to the surgeon. All these impact need an investment of 1.8 crore rupees. Even a donation of 15,000 will help us incur the cost in one eye donation. We're thankful to all our partners for helping us out in the journey so far. When I was 12 years old, a very close friend of mine lost his vision due to corneal blindness. I watched how blindness affected every aspect of his life, his education, his confidence, and eventually his future. That time, I remember asking a simple question, अगर treatment है, तो उसे time से मिली क्यों नहीं? The good news is, the solution is available, and we have proved that we can do it. Now we invite you to build a future where no cornea is wasted and no one remains in the darkness. Thank you.
What stands out in Swapnil's vision distinctively is the systems level approach to solving a nationwide healthcare issue. Their impact is already significant and tells us that restoring sight is not just a medical intervention, but a pathway back to education, livelihoods, and dignity. Thank you to everyone at Disha Education Foundation for your remarkable dedication.
In villages across Gadchiroli in Maharashtra, for a woman in her period, it means exile to a small isolated hut far away from her home. No food to eat, no school to attend, and sometimes no timely medical help even to save her life. Estimates share that adolescent girls lose nearly 5 school days every month due to this practice. This increases long-term school dropout risks and reinforces cycles of gender inequality. To fight this age-old tradition head-on, Dr. Dilip Barsagade sat with the communities, the Gram Sabhas, with every man and woman till he understood how to bring change from within. To share Sparsh's story of breaking an injustice-laced social taboo, please join me in welcoming Dr. Dilip Barsagade.
नमस्कार, मैं डॉक्टर दिलीप बारसागड़े स्पर्श संस्था से। आज आप सबसे मैं एक अहम सवाल पूछना चाहता हूँ। क्या आप अपने घर के किसी महिला सदस्य को मेंस्ट्रुएशन के कारण घर से बाहर निकालते हो? उससे ये कहते हो कि जब तक आप पीरियड्स में हो तब तक घर में नहीं आ सकते। शायद आप ऐसा सपने में भी नहीं सोचोगे, लेकिन गढ़चिरौली जिले के साथ साथ पूर्व महाराष्ट्र और छत्तीसगढ़ की लाखों महिलाओं के लिए यह सपना एक हार्श रियलिटी है। ये वही कुर्मा घर है जहां आदिवासी समुदाय की महिलाओं को पीरियड्स के पूरे समय के लिए रहना पड़ता है। कोई दरवाजा नहीं, कोई खिड़की नहीं, कोई बाथरूम नहीं, खाने पीने के लिए बाहर के व्यक्ति पर निर्भरता, सोने के लिए फटा कंबल, कोई बिजली नहीं। चाहे जितने दिन वो कुर्मा घर में रहती है, ना तो वो अपने घर जा सकती है, ना तो वो गांव के रास्ते पर चल सकती है, ना गांव से पानी ले सकती है, ना गांव से खाना ले सकती है। एक तरह से लिए पूरे समय के लिए गांव के लिए वह छूत रहती है। चाहे स्कूल जाने वाली छोटी बच्ची हो, चाहे वो कॉलेज में पढ़ने वाली युवती हो, चाहे वो मुखिया हो, सरपंच हो, या आंगनवाड़ी सेविका हो, या आशा वर्कर हो, जो कोई भी हो, अगर वो पीरियड में है तो उसको कुर्माघर जाना ही पड़ेगा। स्कूल से वंचितता, रोजगार से छुटकारा और मेंटल और फिजिकल हरासमेंट, ये कुर्माघर के दिखने वाले सबसे बड़े दुष्परिणाम हैं। जयंती बाबूराव गावड़े, एटापल्ली टोला के एक सोशल एक्टिविस्ट, जिसने हमारे सपोर्ट में, हमारे समर्थन में हमेशा खड़ी रही। तेज बुखार होने के बावजूद भी उसे कुर्माघर जाना पड़ा। 2 दिन धुआंधार बारिश थी और तीसरे दिन वो कुर्माघर में मरी पड़ी मिली। जयंती की मृत्यु ने हमें झंझोड़ कर रख दिया। जयंती अकेली नहीं थी जिसकी कुर्मा प्रथा ने जान ली। पिछले 10 सालों में हमने 32 ऐसे डेट आइडेंटिफाइड किए जो इस अमानवीय प्रथा की शिकार बनी है। आज अकेले गढ़चिरौली जिले में 1.5 लाख से ज्यादा महिलाएं इस जानलेवा प्रथा का सामना कर रही है, लेकिन समाज चुप खड़ा है। हम चुप नहीं बैठे, हम महिलाओं के पास में गए, उनसे संवाद किया, इस प्रथा की गहराई को समझा। हम आज तक करीबन 12.5 लाख महिलाओं से 1-to-1 बात की है। एक भी महिला हमें ऐसी नहीं मिली कि जिसने कहा कि मैं खुशी से कुर्माघर जाती हूँ। सबने कहा हमें इस कैद से आजादी चाहिए। इससे हमारा कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ा और साथ में कॉज के प्रति कमिटमेंट दी। इस कस्टम की सबसे बड़ी विक्टिम एडोलसेंट गर्ल थी। वो किताबों में पढ़ती थी मेंस्ट्रुएशन इज अ नेचुरल एंड बायोलॉजिकल प्रोसेस, लेकिन इसी प्रोसेस के कारण उनको अछूतों भरी जिंदगी जीनी पड़ती थी। तो हम स्कूल गए, कॉलेज गए, वहां 6 महीने हर वीक चलने वाले मेंस्ट्रुएशन हेल्थ मैनेजमेंट का ट्रेनिंग लिया और वहीं से पीयर एजुकेटर तैयार किए। हमने ये जाना कि जब तक पुरुषों का इन्वॉल्वमेंट नहीं होगा तब तक इस प्रोसेस को हम आगे नहीं ले पाएंगे। तो हमने कॉर्नर मीटिंग्स ली, पुरुषों का विश्वास संपादन किया और हमने ये देखा पुजारी, भूमका, वैदू, गायता, ये जो ट्रेडिशनल फेथ लीडर्स है, जो गांव के कल्चरल हेड होते हैं, उनको हमने हमारे साथ जोड़ा और हमने बदलाव देखा। स्नेहल उसेंडी, जामड़ी की महिला, उसने कहा कि अब मैं जान गई हूं मेंसेस कोई अभिशाप नहीं है, तो मैं कुर्माघर नहीं जाऊंगी। गांव पंचायत बैठी, लेकिन उसका पति जो पुरुष संवाद सत्र का हमारा साथी था, वो स्नेहल के साथ डटकर खड़ा रहा। गांव पंचायत को झुकना पड़ा। स्नेहल अब कुर्माघर नहीं जाती, तो उसको देखकर और गांव की 10 लड़कियां कुर्माघर नहीं जा रही है। स्नेहल के एक कदम बढ़ाने से गांव में बदलाव देखने को मिला। आज स्पर्श ने 350 विलेजेस तक अपना काम फैलाया है। 35,000 महिलाएं हमारे साथ जुड़ चुकी हैं, जिनमें से 12,500 महिलाओं को हमने प्रशिक्षण दिया है। 4,000 एडोलसेंट गर्ल्स पीयर एजुकेटर के रूप में काम कर रहे हैं और 82 मेल कम्युनिटी चैंपियंस हमारे साथ कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर खड़े हैं। लेकिन इस आंकड़ों से परे भी हमें बदलाव देखने को मिला। सीताटोला की कुछ महिलाएं हमारे पास आई, उन्होंने कहा कि हम ऐसी जगह बनाना चाहते हैं जहां पीरियड्स वाली और नॉन पीरियड्स वाली महिलाएं साथ में आए। हमने कुछ संसाधनों के साथ पहल की। महिलाओं ने 1 साल पसीना बहाया और श्रमदान करके उन्होंने मावास्कना लोन खड़ा किया, जिसका अर्थ होता है मेरे हक का घर। वो वहां आती है, साथ में रहते हैं, अपने स्वास्थ्य के बारे में, परिवार के बारे में, इतना ही नहीं तो गांव के विकास के बारे में भी वहां चर्चा करती है। वहां रखी सिलाई मशीन से वो सैनिटरी पैड सीती है, बाजू के किचन गार्डन से पौष्टिक सब्जियां उगाती है, रोज के खाने में इस्तेमाल करती है। वो महज अब एक घर नहीं रहा, तो पूरे गांव के लिए वो परिवर्तन का केंद्र बन गया है। हम ऐसे ही 4 परिवर्तन के केंद्र और बनाना चाहते हैं, जहां 3,300 महिलाएं अपने डिग्निटी के साथ, स्वाभिमान के साथ, आत्मनिर्भरता के साथ जीने के लिए उनके खुद का ओन स्पेस मिलेगा। 2 साल के बिहेवियर चेंज प्रोग्राम को लेकर खड़े होने वाले एक मावा आस्कना लोन के लिए 15 लाख रुपए लगते हैं। हमें 4 मावा आस्कना लोन के लिए 60 लाख रुपए की आवश्यकता है। हमारा लक्ष्य है आने वाले 3 सालों में हम ऐसे ही 10 मावा आस्कना लोन के रूप में चेंज सेंटर खड़ा करना चाहते हैं। तो आइए चुप्पी तोड़ते हैं, खामोशी छोड़ते हैं और एक ऐसी जगह का निर्माण करते हैं जहां हर आदिवासी लड़की बिना शर्म के, बिना डर के, बिना भेदभाव के अपने सपनों के साथ जी सके। आपने मुझे सुना, आपका धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Dr. Dilip, for sharing about the truly heart-touching work done by Sparsh. Engaging tradition-bound leaders, men, boys, and women, in conversations around dignity, health, and equality is a real game changer. My dear friends, do show your support for Sparsh's fantastic work. Did you know that in our beloved India, close to 57% of women are anemic and almost 67% newly born children carry the same quiet inheritance of anemia? Among pregnant women, anemia significantly increases the risk of maternal mortality, premature births, and low birth weight. Vaishnavi Welfare and Charitable Trust decided that such an inheritance from mother to child must be broken. Working inside the government health system across rural Tamil Nadu, their programs have supported thousands of infants and women. To share with you what it takes to finally interrupt a cycle which has been centuries in the making, please join me in welcoming Deepa Jagan.
This is Lakshmi. She is from Kalvarine Hills, a tribal belt in Tamil Nadu. If you were to meet her, you might imagine she's in her 5th grade, but she's actually in her 7th grade. She weighs 23 kgs, but her ideal weight is 40 kgs. She's malnourished. Now, to understand why, we might have to go back to a time when she was in her mother's womb. Janaki, during her pregnancy, was underweight. She also had iron deficiency called anemia. She would feel weak and tired all the time. When a mother is malnourished and anemic, she passes that on directly to her baby. And this cycle moves from one generation to another. Imagine soil without nutrients. How can it produce a healthy tree? And the consequences for this baby is for a lifetime. The brain development is impaired in the womb. In the school, it can't study very well. The working capacity is low in adulthood, and so the earning potential is also low. This is why we, Vaishnavi Welfare and Charitable Trust, work towards breaking this cycle of malnutrition and anemia at its roots. And we've been doing this for the past 12 years. Vanakkam, I'm Deepa. As a mother myself, I believe every woman should go through her pregnancy feeling nourished and supported. This is India's reality. 30% of Indian children are malnourished and 60% of women and children are anemic. What a huge loss of human potential. When we hear a child is underweight, we assume that there's no food, which could be possible. To plug this drain, the government has multiple schemes. Food and supplements are reaching people. But there is an important element to malnutrition that is rarely addressed. When you eat your food, your body should have the ability to break it into nutrients, absorb it, and assimilate it to growth and repair. And if this system is broken, your gut is weak. It's like having a leaky bucket with holes. It can't hold nutrition or use it. And this is called hidden hunger. Hidden hunger is a complex problem. It cannot be sorted with a pill. Our trustees, Dr. Malini and Dr. Niraymati, create comprehensive programs with the medical team to restore gut health and absorption. We have 2 programs. Jeevani is for children in residential schools and Shakti is for pregnant women. Lakshmi studies in this residential school in Kalvarine Hills. There are 200 children studying there. Before Vaishnavi Trust intervention, 10 to 20 children would fall sick every day, which is a typical sign of malnutrition. What is unique about Jeevani is we first restore the gut health and absorption using Ashwagandhadi Churna, and then we complement their daily meals with Ragi Sundal, which is high in protein, and this helps with growth and immunity. With periodic doctor assessments, we noted 90% of the children had better immunity. Girls had better menstrual health. The best place to break this cycle of malnutrition and anemia is through the mother. Kokila, during her first pregnancy, was underweight, anemic, and she had severe morning sickness. She could barely eat anything. Her first baby was underweight at 2.2 kgs. Shakti is a program which is implemented in a primary healthcare system with the ASHA workers. Kokila was given government-approved Siddha supplements to first reduce her morning sickness, then increase her iron absorption and immunity. Her second baby weighed 3.2 kgs. A 1 kilogram increase for a baby means a healthier and a happier life. Babies once born at 1.9 kgs are now being born at 2.5 kgs because mothers are gaining at least 8 kilograms during their pregnancies. Hemoglobin is up by at least 1.33 grams. Healthier mothers, stronger babies, and this is the difference that we are making. We started with 80 children in one home. Today, we serve 600 children. 50 pregnancies in one primary healthcare center to 1,800 annual pregnancies. We are raising 70 lakh rupees for Culverine Hills. We want to increase the number of our children from 600 to 1,000, support 1,000 pregnancies. 10,000 rupees supports one mother, one child for a healthier life. Every time I visit a school or a primary healthcare center in Culverine Hills, I see Lakshmis, Kokilas with their little babies all fighting hidden hunger. I know that we are not doing enough. Will you help us break this cycle of malnutrition and anemia for them? Thank you.
They say that the smallest of light can defeat the biggest of darkness. Thank you, Deepa and Vaishnavi Trust, for defeating the darkness in thousands of women and children's lives. In India, becoming a doctor often depends less on talent and more on affordability. Coaching classes have increasingly become the gateway to competitive exams. For the tribal students in Gadchiroli and Melghat regions of Maharashtra, the community therefore simply does not exist because they are so poor. Dr. Atul Dhakne asked one radical question: shall the children of the poor not become doctors? He and some other socially conscious young doctors took it upon themselves to build a ladder of hope, free, neat coaching for tribal youth. The ones who made it as doctors through this program, through Lift for Upliftment coaching, are ready to hold the ladder for the next cohort of youths from Melghat. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Atul Dhakne.
These are some beautiful pictures from Melghat and Gadchiroli, the tribal regions of Maharashtra. But behind this stunning beauty lies tragic truth. In this region, one child dies every alternate day. Infant mortality rate is so high that it is double the state average. To solve this, our first instinct is to say build more hospitals, send more doctors from outside. But hospitals are already there. The key factor behind this tragedy lies low doctor to population ratio of 1 doctor for 7,000 people as compared to 1:1,200 for the state. And whatever doctors are there who come from outside, they rarely stay. So the real solution for this problem is cultivating healthcare professionals from these communities itself. But फिर क्यों नहीं बन पा रहे डॉक्टर यहाँ से? Answer is simple. The NEET examination coaching cost around rupees 2 to 4 lakh, which is unaffordable to these communities. And ये community के लोग अपने बच्चे डॉक्टर बनेंगे ये ड्रीम भी नहीं देख पाते. Also they lack ecosystem, which is required to get success in such examination and continue higher medical education. This is where Lift for Upliftment comes into the picture. We had been trying to solve this problem since 2015. LFU was started by my friends and me when we were studying MBBS in BJ Medical College, Pune. We provide free NEET coaching in a residential mode for underprivileged and tribal students across 2 branches. One is in Pune and another is the Ulgulan branch, which is designed specifically for tribal students from remote tribal regions of Melghat and Gadchiroli. Here, 22 months of rigorous coaching is being provided to the students. Holistic ecosystem, which take care of coaching, study materials, accommodation, food, one-on-one mentorship, and even this support is continued after NEET right up to their medical degree. That is NEET ke saath bhi or NEET ke baad bhi. All this with lot of care and dignity of beneficiaries. Our faculty consists of practicing doctors, medical students, and alumni who were once toppers in NEET examination and also come from topmost medical colleges across Maharashtra. And even then, the total budget for our faculty of salaries is just 0. What makes LFU unique is that our entire coaching is being done by volunteers. In a year, over 200 volunteers contribute around 3,000 hours of teaching. And while doing this, even their own personal growth is not hampered. Look at me. While doing all of this, I have passed my MBBS examination and even cracked UPSC Civil Services examination. Does it work? Let's meet Durgesh. He's from remote Melghat region. His family earning meager rupees 35,000 annually and with no orientation or awareness about the NEET. He got holistic support of LFU. He cracked NEET, cleared his MBBS, and he has joined his own Melghat region as a medical officer. And this is not one of a story. Since 2015, we have taught 480 students. Out of that, 311 students have won medical seat. 65% selection rate, that is highest among any private coaching industry in India. And more than half are girls. We are not done it. There is a long way to go. Our goal is to scale up this model at India level in a gradual manner. Then what is stopping us? Currently, our Ulgulan branch runs in a 3-story rented building. We can take only 30 students and can serve only 2 tribal regions. Every year, over 100 deserving tribal students are turned away, not because they lack ability, but we do not have sufficient infrastructure. Hence, we have already acquired 4.8 acres of land. Our volunteers are ready. Our building plan is ready. We need rupees 5 crore for phase 1 of this campus. This beautiful state-of-art infrastructure will help us to take our intake capacity from current 60 to 200 students. The outcomes will be minimum 60 medical admissions per year. And by 2040, your financial contribution will help to make 600 plus MBBS and 200 plus paramedics going back to serve their own communities. And remember, one such doctor also uplifts around 15 people around them. The whole family is uplifted out of generational poverty. A whole village gets their own youth as doctors and a new hope that no more children die. So the real choice is this. Do we continue sending temporary solutions from outside or help this community to cultivate their own healers? So let us come together and help making future doctors from tribal belts of India and transform healthcare outcomes of these regions. Thank you.
We all know many people who were firsts. First man on the moon, Neil Armstrong. First man on Mount Everest, Edmund Hillary. Your accomplishment, Dr. Atul, is much greater. You have created so many first-time doctors from so many families and made them all healthcare leaders. Thank you so much, Dr. Atul, and a thank you to all the doctors who work voluntarily with you. Now hold on for a staggering piece of statistics. Nearly 5 crore Indian children sit in a classroom every day and still do not know how to read or count. India's education crisis is no longer about access to schools. It is increasingly about what children are actually learning once they enter the classrooms. Despite high enrollment rates, millions of children continue to struggle with basic reading, writing, and numeracy skills. Neev Shikshan Sanstha had to strengthen the teachers and the pedagogy that held the children up. Their model focuses on continuous professional development along with on-ground engagement with thousands of Anganwadi workers and hundreds of teachers who are building a strong learning foundation across Gujarat. Please join me in welcoming our second to last, yet second to none, non-profit speaker today, Heli Dave.
नमस्कार, मेरा नाम हेली दवे है और मैं नीव शिक्षण संस्था से हूँ। चलिए आज की शुरुआत एक गाने से करते हैं। लाखों में एक हूँ बन लाखों में एक तू, शिक्षा की एक बात सुनाऊं थोड़ा थोड़ा सुन ले तू। मुफ्त किताबें मुफ्त में खाना पर शिक्षा में देर है, स्कूलें निकली गांव गांव में फिर भी क्यों अंधेर है। नाम लिखा है स्कूल में सबका फिर भी ये अफसोस है, आधे उनमें पढ़ ना पाते किसके सर का दोष है। नटखट मुन्नी पढ़ ना पाए इसमें सबकी हार है, किसी और को दोष न देंगे हम सब जिम्मेवार है। चलिए मैं ना आपको 3 साल पुराने हमारे जागृति मैम के क्लासरूम में लेके जाती हूँ, जो पिछले 15 साल से ग्रेड 1 एंड ग्रेड 2 को मैथ्स पढ़ा रहे। आज उनके क्लासरूम में 1 से 50 की गिनती चल रही है और पूरा क्लास एनर्जेटिक है। तब जाके मैंने ये सोचा कि चलिए कुछ बच्चों से बातें करते हैं, और मैंने बच्चों को ये पूछा 24 और 36 में कौन सा नंबर छोटा है, या फिर 39 के बाद कौन सा नंबर आता है, और पूरा क्लास शांत हो गया। तब मैंने ये रियलाइज किया कि बच्चे नंबर्स रिसाइट तो कर रहे, पर क्या बच्चों को नंबर्स समझ में आ रहा है? ये सिर्फ एक जागृति मैम नहीं है, ऐसे लाखों क्लासरूम्स है इंडिया में जहां इसी तरीके से पढ़ाया जाता है। और सिर्फ क्लासरूम्स नहीं, हमारा डेटा भी यही कहता है कि बच्चे स्कूल्स में तो आ रहे हैं, पर क्या उनका लर्निंग बढ़ रहा है? आज भी हमारा ग्रेड 3 का बच्चा ग्रेड 2 लेवल के पैराग्राफ्स या स्टोरी को नहीं पढ़ पाता है और ना ही सिंपल मैथ्स के सम्स कर पाते हैं। क्यों? क्योंकि उनका फाउंडेशन वीक है। और उनके फाउंडेशन वीक होने की वजह है कि आज भी उनके क्लासरूम्स जागृति मैम जैसे मेमोराइजेशंस पे चलते हैं रादर देन एक्टिविटी बेस्ड। और इसकी सबसे बड़ी वजह है कि हमारे इंडिया में आज भी 60% से ज्यादा एजुकेटर्स को प्ले बेस्ड ट्रेनिंग नहीं दी गई है और ना ही उनके क्लासरूम्स में एज अप्रोप्रिएट मटेरियल है। एंड दैट्स व्हेन नीव शिक्षण संस्था कम्स इनटू पिक्चर। हम सिर्फ वन टाइम ट्रेनिंग नहीं पर कॉम्पिटेंसी बेस्ड ट्रेनिंग देते हैं, जहां पे हम हाउ टू टीच पे फोकस करते हैं रादर देन व्हाट टू टीच। हम इसके साथ साथ टीचर्स को क्लासरूम सपोर्ट देते हैं, जहां पे ऑब्जर्वेशंस, मेंटोरिंग एंड डेमोन्स्ट्रेशंस देते हैं। हम हमारे प्रिंसिपल्स एंड गवर्नमेंट ऑफिशियल्स जैसे स्टेक होल्डर के साथ हम सॉल्यूशंस को को क्रिएट करते हैं। एंड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंटली हम सिस्टम में रह के सिस्टम को स्ट्रेंथन करते हैं ताकि ये अप्रोच लॉन्ग टर्म एंड स्ट्रेंथन रहे। आपको याद है जागृति मैम का क्लासरूम, जहां बच्चों को 24 और 36 में से कौन सा नंबर छोटा था ये नहीं पता था। आज 3 साल बाद बच्चों को सिर्फ ये नहीं पता कि 24 और 36 में से कौन सा छोटा है, पर 24 में कौन सा नंबर वंस पे आता है और कौन सा टेंस पे ये भी पता है, और 36 में से अगर 3 कम करे और क्या आता है वो भी पता है। हमने शुरुआत की थी 2019 में, जहां हमने 10 टीचर्स से शुरू की थी और आज 2026 में हम 5000 मोर टीचर्स तक रीच किए हैं विथ 1 लाख चिल्ड्रन। हमारी जो जर्नी है वो सिर्फ स्केल पे नहीं पर हमारे क्लासरूम्स में दिखती है, जहां हमारे टीचर्स ने ये प्रैक्टिसेस को अडेप्ट किया और इसका असर हमें हमारे बच्चों के लर्निंग आउटकम में दिखा, जहां अब हमारे बच्चे क्लासरूम्स में क्यूरियस लर्नर्स हुए, एक्टिव पार्टिसिपेंट्स हुए एंड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंटली कॉन्फिडेंट रीडर्स हुए, और इससे हमारा क्लासरूम एक जॉयफुल क्लासरूम रहा। इसी अप्रोच को आगे लेके जाने के लिए हमारा इस साल का बजट है 1.1 करोड़, जहां हमने 35 lakhs ऑलरेडी सिक्योर किए हैं। वी आर हियर टू आस्क अ हेल्प फॉर 75 lakhs। ये 75 lakhs में आप हमें और 1000 टीचर्स की ट्रेनिंग के लिए हेल्प कर सकते हैं, उन्हीं के टीचर के क्लासरूम्स के लिए लर्निंग मटेरियल्स के लिए भी हेल्प कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि एवरी स्टूडेंट डिजर्व्स अ स्ट्रॉन्ग स्टार्ट एंड अ क्वालिटी एजुकेशन। तो चलिए हम सब एक साथ में कहते हैं, खेल खेल में गजब पढ़ाई, पढ़ना अब आसान करे, खेल खेल में सब कुछ मुश्किल, हर मुश्किल को पार करे, सुन ले मेरी बात जरा और हो जा मेरे संग तू। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Heli, for your super dedicated work. They say the mark of a great nation is built in the solid foundations it creates for its children. You are doing that work for our nation. We are cheering you to ensure children learn and show significant improvements in literacy and in developing their overall confidence. For over 5 decades, environmentalist Smita Shah quietly championed the idea that the health of a nation begins with the health of its soil. In 2014, she founded Joy, Jaya Organic Yojana, to help tribal farmers with organic farming and community-led livelihood initiatives. At the right time, the founder made a sustainable transition of the NGO to young, capable hands. Joy also supports rural entrepreneurship for women, participatory forest management frameworks, and advocacy for soil, water, forest, and farmers' development. Please welcome Vikas Vishwakarma to present the story of regenerating agricultural ecosystems.
Let me begin with a very simple question. We all eat food, vegetable, grains, millets, and fruits. But have you ever thought of the farm this food comes from? The farmer who grows this food? And how healthy is this food that we all are eating? So hello everyone, I am Vikas from Jaya Organic Yojana. I come from a farming family myself, from a very small village in Madhya Pradesh. And just like my own family, there are over 500 million people in India whose livelihood depends on agriculture. 230 million of these farmers are still living below the poverty line. The farmers who feed us cannot afford to feed themselves. And the reason? The reason is excessive chemical use. Growing up, I watched intensive chemical farming slowly destroy my own village. Season after season, farmers poured chemical into their soil, chasing short-term yield and not realizing the long-term harm. Yield kept falling, chemical costs kept rising until farming became impossible. Families gave up farming altogether, including my own. I was lucky enough to get an education and was able to support my family, but not everybody is that lucky. And we cannot afford to lose our farmers this way. That is why all of us need to act. Act to save our soil before we lose it. Because when soil fails, farming fails. And when farming fails, a family's entire livelihood fails with it. We have started a movement to save the soil. And I would like to take you through this by telling you one of our farmer success story. Prema Siddhi lives in Narsul village of Uttar Kannada and she grows areca nut, banana and pepper on her 2.5 acres of land. Land that was hardened by years of chemical fertilizer use. There was no microbial life left. Leaves were turning yellow and the yield was falling season after season. Prema and her husband had to leave their own land and work at somebody else's as labor workers. Their entire annual income was just 30,000 rupees. The situation was very dire. Then joy arrived on Prema's own land with its 52 weeks of on-location training. With the objective to restore her core asset, her soil, so that her farm could become a source of sustainable and long-term livelihood for her family. In 2019, Prema received a vermi vet, earthworm, and a training in vermicompost production. But she learned more than composting. She learned to manage her farm like a sustainable business. Today, Prema produces 2,400 kilograms of vermicompost every year at no external cost and uses in her own land. Her soil has recovered, her land is greener, and her areca nut yield is up by 67%. Her family income has gone from 30,000 rupees to 2.5 lakh rupees. This is not just Prema's story. This is a story of all those 4,000 joy families we are working with, and a proof of what is possible. And it's a reminder for all of us that how many families could benefit given the same chance and same learning. So you might ask, what is Jaya Organic Yojana doing differently? Poverty is never just an isolated problem. So we have to work on many areas in farmers' life to make a lasting difference. That's why we didn't just work with Prema. We worked with her entire family, her husband and her daughter, building skills for complete transformation. We don't create dependencies. We build ownership through our Apni Khushali, Apni Zimmedari model. We didn't just provide Prema with few resources and some awareness training. Our trainer, Michael Siddhi, worked with her on her own farm with real resources for 52 weeks and tracked her progress until her family became self-reliant. We built contiguous blocks of organic land. In Narsul village, we didn't just work with Prema. We worked with the farmers whose land sits next to hers, creating a common shared ecosystem because we believe impact compounds when the whole neighborhood heals its soil together. Joy's approach is simple. Heal the soil, train the whole family, and build skills that last for a total transformation. And the results? The results speak for themselves. 7,300 farmers skilled, 300% increase in their income, 8,500 acres of land under organic farming. In the last 12 years, we haven't just helped individual farmers. We have built a seasonal curriculum, a replicable model that holds the basis to work at any climate at any time of the year. That means we are not limited to where we stand today. With the right partners, we can take the same models to new states and reach millions or more farmers at a countrywide level. So now imagine a world where all of our 230 million farmers are earning a decent livelihood. Their children have a secure future and the soil is healthy. We have begun the journey and I would like to invite you to join us in reaching 3,000 new families over the next 2 years for a start. To get there, we need your support. And the cost is just 9,000 rupees per family for training a farmer for a year-long training with few resources. And the result of investment is that we just spent 2.7 crore rupees. A farmer will start earning a minimum of 2 lakh rupees every year. Our 3,000 farmers will create a vibrant village economy of 60 crore rupees in circulation every year. So just like Prema, thousands of more farmers are waiting for the same chance. Partner with us, let's heal the soil, let's nourish the communities, and let's grow healthy food to eat for all. Thanks.
Thank you, Vikas, for that wonderful pitch. You and Joy are actually doing Vikas with joy for thousands of people and Mother Earth too. You are restoring ecosystems, revitalizing local communities, improving nutrition, and in turn strengthening the communities and creating dignified livelihoods. That is incredible work. We wish you all the very best.